In this video, you'll learn about the top WordPress hosting companies on the market. We know it's a big decision, so we want to get you the information to you so you can get started today. And with that, we're going to invite somebody on here who has a ton of experience with this process. Syed Balkhi, he is the co-founder of several popular WordPress plugins out there, including WP Forms, Monster Insights, Optime, and several others. He is also the chief blogger and founder of WPBeginner, the largest free WordPress resource site for beginners. Syed, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me, Christina. So good to be here.
Awesome. So, WPBeginner has turned 10 years old, which congratulations on that. And in internet terms, that's like a century. But during that time, how many times have you been asked this question of what's the best WordPress hosting company out there?
Oh man, this is a question that gets asked pretty much every day. We just recently started our Facebook group, and since then, this question has been asked a lot of times in a lot of different ways. So sometimes people just want to know which is the best WordPress hosting, but then sometimes like, what do you think about host X? When really they're asking that question, and then somebody might have heard more technical terms like VPS or managed, and then the question gets a little bit more elaborate. But this is a big decision, and there's just so much to know about it that people just don't know because nobody has the time to go and test every single hosting company in the market, right? So, and you want to feel comfortable making that decision because it's such a big one.
Yeah. And so with that, what do you usually tell them first? I mean, like, how do they even get started with that?
When I'm thinking about hosting, it's all based on your needs, right? There's no right or wrong answer. Like there's no generic answer that this is the host that one size fits all. It depends on, number one, what kind of website are you running? Are you running a small blog or a small business website? Or is it an e-commerce store where you're going to have to process a lot of orders and things like that? That's a very big distinction in my eyes. Then second is how big is your website, right? If you're just starting out, I wouldn't recommend, overspending. I would say you start small and you grow, so you can use that money elsewhere because when you're starting out, you don't have a huge budget anyways. But if you are a larger website, then you would probably want to choose a different provider than what you would choose when you're first starting out. Some providers have a lot of options so you can scale up, but there's no right or wrong answer. In this, it just depends. So my answer is, it depends. What are your needs? And then
everybody's favorite answer. Yeah, everybody's favorite answer. So with that, we know that there are several different types of hosting. So we've got like shared WP hosting, we've got VPS, dedicated, and managed. And so like that kind of goes along with what you're saying, whether you're a beginner blogger or e-commerce site, or if you're a huge website needing to get a managed hosting. Is that kind of how that goes?
Yeah, exactly. So it's really a scale. When you're starting out, shared is the best way. And for those of you who don't know what shared hosting is, all it means is that there's one like giant server or a cluster of servers, meaning many servers, and you're just renting a small space in it because your website doesn't really need all the resources. And if the hosting company was trying to sell you, the whole server, it would be a lot more expensive. So what they've done is they've used law of numbers to bring the cost down for everybody to start a website. I mean, now hosting costs as little as like $2 a month, right? So that's the only reason why that's possible is because they're sharing their resources across many websites. And of course, if your website kind of outgrows that, then your hosting company will reach out and say, hey, you need to upgrade to the next plan. So yeah, you start out with shared. Of course, a lot of them will say unlimited space and unlimited thing. Yeah. There's no such thing as unlimited. It's basically that if they had put like 1 GB, you don't like as a non-techie user, as a beginner, you don't know how much space you need. So it's just easier to say unlimited. And then as you start growing, you would want to look at the options, and the three options you have available is the VPS, which is a virtual private server. All what it means is, let's say if there was 100 websites on a dedicated server that you were previously sharing with, now you might be sharing it with 10, right? So you have a lot more resources, a lot more options on a VPS. And a dedicated server is exactly what it sounds like. It's a full-on just dedicated server just to your website. But both VPS and dedicated servers require a little bit more technical knowledge and technical know-how. And that's when this new category of managed WordPress hosting that was introduced about a decade ago now. It's been around for over a decade, but now it's a really big market where hosting companies have decided to create a specialized hosting platform that scales with you. So if you were using, let's say, WPEngine or Pagely, you would have your site can grow and you never have to switch.
Which is awesome.
Yeah, but it costs a little bit more.
Yeah. So in thinking about this, what are the 4 factors we always tell people to consider when they're looking at hosting?
Well, so for me, the most important thing of any host is uptime, right? Reliability. Is my website going to stay up 24/7? Because, that's websites are global. Anybody can access it from anywhere at any time. So uptime is very, very important. The second most important thing for me is load time, the speed of your website. Because number one, nobody likes slow websites. So your users, you want to make sure they have a great experience when they're visiting you. But also search engines like Google give speed a very big role in the SEO rankings. So the faster your website, the better your odds of are ranking higher. After that, I look at support and features. Yeah. Now, when you think about features, like there's a feature parity like across the board. Like everybody has the same features now. They have backups, but they may say they have backups. What kind of backup do they have? That's the bigger thing. They may say that we have caching, but what kind of caching? That's the difference. So I'm looking at features, and most of the hosting companies are pretty good at these things, whether it be BlueHost, whether it's SiteGround, HostGator. The level of features you're getting is pretty much the same. They all have one-click staging. The button you click to create that staging site will look a little different. The process will look different, but you will have a staging site. Now, staging on WPEngine is a different level. So that when you start looking at managed, like a true managed hosting, it will be different. But then, of course, support, right? I want to make sure that I can get help when I need it. And believe it or not, you will need help at one point or another. I have multiple websites, like dozens and dozens of websites, and they're all hosted on all different hosting companies, just so I can keep trying them and making sure the advice that I'm giving is relevant. And I test the support. I don't use my name when I'm using it, so that I don't get any special treatment at times there. Awesome. Just so I can ghost shop the companies. That's awesome. And test their support. But I want to make sure that the support is talented. Some hosting companies have very good live chat support and others don't. But then they make up for it in really good phone support. Like I almost prefer to talk to people on the phone because number one, I feel that maybe there's a SOP, like a standard procedure manual in hosting companies, that they give their phone agents a lot more power than they give to the live chat agent. So, and most people just go for the convenience route, which is live chat. So it's sometimes a little bit busier, versus phone agents. Like I just have like the best of luck with them. So I like phone support. Those are the 4, factors I consider: uptime, speed, features, and support.
Yeah, that makes sense. And so then based on that, which ones do we go with for our starter hosting?
So yeah, like what I always want to emphasize to people is that you don't need to overspend in the beginning. All right, you can upgrade as you go along. Almost every hosting company is offering a free website migration service, but whether they advertise it or not, believe me, they have it. They want your business. So you just start small and grow. As you grow, then you decide, do you want to stay with the same provider or go with a more advanced provider for your needs? Like I don't. Like me, I'm cheap, right? When I started out, I didn't have any money. So I wanted to make sure I'm using my money in the right places. So I start small. I would say the best starter hosting in the market, BlueHost, I would say by far one of the better ones. And they offer you free domain name, pretty discounted price, SSL certificate. SiteGround, another really solid provider, really good service. Like live chat is amazing in SiteGround. One thing I don't like about it is that they don't give you a free domain. But but otherwise they make up for that in their caching solution. The speed of the servers are really, really good. And then third one in the starter market is HostGator. HostGator, I've been using them since I started WPBeginner, and I haven't switched. So it's been a HostGator customer for the last 10 years. Of course, now the servers that I have multiple dedicated servers that are running it. But when I started, I didn't. Right, I had a small shared hosting account there. So those three are pretty safe bet. I mean, BlueHost and SiteGround are both recommended by WordPress.org, so they're officially recommended hosting providers.
Yeah.
You really can't go wrong with them. But yeah, and both of them have come out with new panels. Like, so they're not using cPanel anymore. They have a modified version, and it's very beginner friendly, much cleaner. Like it looks modern. Like, cPanel old interfaces used to look very clunky and was built for techie users, and now this is built for business owners and really, really nice. So BlueHost and SiteGround are my de facto 1 and 2, and then HostGator. Because I hope the HostGator makes that same leap with their control panel changes. But I really like HostGator support. I've been with them, for the last 10 years. So I can't not add them in the list. And also for WPBeginner readers, they are giving free domain now. So their offer is actually better when you start looking at it. So I would say BlueHost, then HostGator, and SiteGround.
Awesome.
In terms of the best value for it.
Great, and we'll link to those in the description below as well for people. And then also for your best managed hosting, I think you said WPEngine.
Yeah, I think WPEngine is a solid bet. I know the team, I know the founders really, really well over there. They've done a great job. The whole team is really solid. The platform is really good, right? And the pricing is still affordable. So WPEngine is a great platform for managed WordPress hosting. We also use Pagely. They've been around for a very long time. I know the founding team there as well. We use it on some of our websites, very expensive ones. They host the whole thing on Amazon, but it's really, really enterprise. So if you're enterprise and you're watching this video, I think you want Pagely. But I don't think their lowest plan costs like several $100s a month. So it's kind of out of reach for most, small business owners. Right. And I think WPEngine is a great company, great platform. We use them for several of our websites as well. I believe MemberPress is using WPEngine, and best of all, they're offering our readers a better deal than what you get on the open market. Yeah. So that's
pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Great. So basically, just to recap, we have our 3 starter sites that we recommend. That's BlueHost, SiteGround, and HostGator. And then if you're ready to jump up to a higher level or a managed site, then we recommend WPEngine. Is that right?
Yeah, that's pretty much my go-to.
Okay, now we've shown you the top hosting companies that we recommend. The job is in your corner to pick one that works best for you and get started and check that off your to-do list today. And then feel free to join our Facebook group, WPBeginner Engage, where you can ask questions about WordPress there. And thanks for joining. Syed, thank you for joining us, and thank you for watching. Did you learn something from today's video? If so, subscribe to our YouTube channel and we'll send more helpful tips to help you manage your WordPress website. And thanks for watching.